you had a baby in a house when you were 13 years old and we can't find you? By the way, where's the baby buried? I asked that question to her. And she said what happened after she gave birth was they called her mom and they said that she's got to go. I said, how do you know the baby was dead? You're telling me they moved you into a room and they induced labor after you said, I don't want to give up my child.
Why do I believe that Erika and Charlie Kirk actually have children, that these two children do exist? Because I don't think Charlie would lie about having kids. Erika, on the other hand, as we've seen, lies like she breathes, like she has it down to an art form, but not like a Monet, more like a Picasso that's
hid. Not because I was embarrassed, not because I didn't want anyone. Yes, we did keep it very private. But it's because it was a moment very sacred. I was growing a human inside of me, my baby. The world that Charlie and I live in is very toxic at times.
The situation surrounding Erika Kirk has taken an unexpected turn, and a recent comment from Candace Owens has added a new layer to the conversation. For months, people online have quietly wondered about one particular detail in Erika's story. The question that keeps resurfacing is simple but powerful. Was Erika ever actually pregnant? And if she was, some observers have begun asking another question that is just as serious. Was Charlie truly the father? These are sensitive topics, and nothing has been officially confirmed, but discussions behind the scenes seem to be getting louder. Recently, there have been rumors circulating about alleged DNA information being discussed privately, which has only intensified curiosity around the situation.
Erika herself is therefore Syrian Lebanese on her mother's side and Swedish on her father's side. So something which struck me as immediately odd about Erika is just how deeply she identifies as Swedish, despite her public insistence that she was raised by a quote-unquote single mother. Think about that just from a social perspective. If Erika was indeed raised by a single mother, wouldn't you expect her to identify more deeply with those Lebanese Syrian roots, right? You might even understand it if she resented her Swedish roots, like my dad didn't do anything, and so I'm not even doing anything with the Swedes. I don't even like being Swedish.
Again, none of this has been publicly verified, but the mere mention of it has sparked a wave of speculation. People who have been following the story closely are now revisiting earlier details and trying to understand whether certain parts of the timeline truly make sense. To understand why this topic has gained attention, it helps to start with something fairly straightforward. In today's digital world, pregnancy is often documented in many ways. For public figures and influencers, it's even more common to see updates, photos, and milestone moments shared along the way. From event appearances to casual photos, there are usually signs that fans can look back on later. But in Erika's case, observers have pointed out something unusual. There does not appear to be a single candid photo showing her visibly pregnant. No public appearance with a baby bump, no casual event footage, and no paparazzi-style images capturing that stage of her life. For someone who built much of her public image around sharing personal moments, that absence has raised a few eyebrows among followers. Erika has often documented many parts of her life very openly. She has filmed herself during travel, while speaking at conferences, and even during emotionally intense moments. Her audience has seen her on stage, on flights, and sharing personal reflections with the camera rolling. Because of that level of openness, some people find the lack of pregnancy documentation difficult to ignore. The contrast became even more noticeable after Charlie passed away. During that heartbreaking time, Erika chose to record several deeply emotional moments. She filmed herself expressing grief and speaking directly to the camera while processing the loss.
I love you. I love you. God bless you.
Those videos showed raw emotions and were shared almost immediately with her audience. That is where the conversation becomes complicated. Some viewers have pointed out the contrast between those public moments of grief and the complete privacy surrounding the alleged pregnancy. If privacy was the goal, people wonder why it seemed to apply strongly in one part of the story but not in another. Of course, everyone processes life events differently, and personal choices about what to share can vary widely. Still, the questions didn't stop there. As people look back through Erika's public presence online, another small detail caught their attention. Across social media, her identity has been strongly connected to her marriage. Her handles and branding consistently reflect the name Erika Kirk, reinforcing that connection. However, when an ultrasound clip reportedly began circulating among viewers, some noticed a surprising detail. The name displayed on the ultrasound was not Erika Kirk. Instead, it showed her maiden name, Erica Franza. There could be many simple explanations for that. Medical paperwork, timing of name changes, or administrative details could easily account for the difference. Even so, because Erica's public identity has been so closely tied to the name Erika Kirk, some people felt the discrepancy stood out. Another point that viewers noticed involved the ultrasound appointment itself. According to those analyzing the footage, Charlie did not appear to be present during that visit, which added yet another small detail to an already complicated timeline.
Of the woman who raised Erika Kirk. Her mom, Loretta Francevy.
Yeah, that's Erika Kirk getting an ultrasound. There's been a lot of talk about whether or not that woman has really ever been pregnant. Now, I've been pregnant 5 times. The first was a miscarriage, gave birth to 4. So you bet your ass I zoomed in on that ultrasound screen. And this is a close-up of the screen, which led me to do a deep dive into the stages of pregnancy, which I've done, back in the day when I was pregnant, but it's been a while. It's hard to see a lot of detail in that picture. Based on her stomach size and the size of what we can see, it would be safe to presume this is the viability ultrasound, that they determine if there's a heartbeat, which they can do as early as 6 weeks. And this is what it looks like at 6 weeks, and this is what it looks like at 8 weeks. Wanted to compare that to her picture, but I don't have the technology to zoom in on it. I wasted 2 hours, except I learned that at 9 weeks they hiccup. I didn't know that. Why do I believe that Erika and Charlie Kirk actually have children, that these 2 children do exist? Because I don't think Charlie would lie about having kids. Erika, on the other hand, as we've seen, lies like she breathes, like she has it down to an art form, but not like a Monet, more like a Picasso that's kind of twisted. Eyeball and face. Somebody whose brother was a priest, and after Charlie died, the priest felt like he could share about how close Charlie was to converting to Catholicism and how he would come to church with the kids, and so specifically mention the kids. Think about how much information has been leaked from the Turning Point office. They don't really seem to like her nor respect her. If this were a lie she was propagating, somebody would say something. Also, I think Candace Owens would have said it by now. Those are solid enough reasons, I think, in and of themselves. But the question remains, why did she hide out when she was pregnant? I think for nothing more than her vanity.
Erika's first recorded hospital visit reportedly wasn't with Charlie at all. According to details that have been discussed online, she arrived with her mother, Lori. On its own, that might not seem unusual. Family members often accompany people to important medical appointments. But when people combine that moment with the absence of any visible pregnancy photos or public milestones, the conversation starts to grow louder. In situations where clear documentation is missing, small details often become the focus. People begin examining timelines, statements, and even casual comments that might have seemed unimportant at first.
We laugh about this because our dates are so messed up because of babies, meaning there's so many dates to remember. Because I know we had a birth plan, and the only thing that went to plan on that birth plan was that we had a child.
That's right.
Everything else
went
out the window.
We had a great OD, may he rest in peace. Terrible stuff.
So sad.
That's exactly what has happened here as observers started revisiting older clips and interviews involving Erika. One example that keeps resurfacing is the way Erika has spoken about important dates in the past. In a few recorded moments, viewers noticed she appeared to struggle when recalling specific milestones, like her wedding anniversary or even her children's birthdays. That alone doesn't prove anything. Many people forget dates from time to time, but when a story is already under a microscope, those moments start getting analyzed much more closely. Another clip that people often reference comes from an episode of Charlie's podcast. During that conversation, Erika briefly mentioned that her obstetrician had passed away. The comment itself was short, but it caught listeners' attention because it added another unusual detail to the timeline people were trying to piece together. But the situation became even more complicated when Candace Owens recently brought up a new allegation. According to her discussion, there may be conflicting accounts about Erika's location on the day Charlie was tragically shot. Erika previously stated that she was at the hospital with her mother receiving treatment. However, Candace claimed that sources suggested a different possibility.
Seeing Charlie in an elevator, everything about Charlie is adding up. I cannot get a single person to confirm that they saw Erika, who's apparently out and about. I then thought, wouldn't it make sense? She screams in the middle of a parking lot. She screams in the middle of a doctor's office. Everybody kind of knows where they were when Charlie got shot. Okay, if this doctor's office had people in it, there's going to be someone who said, hey, I heard a giant scream at my doctor's office. He was to tell his story, but he also had to include the part where he claims that he saw Erika Kirk the night before, also on Fort Huachuca at Candlewood Inn and Suites, okay?
That Erika may have been staying at a hotel suite in Fort Huachuca instead. It's important to emphasize that these claims remain part of an ongoing public discussion and have not been confirmed. Still, the allegation has caused many people to revisit statements made earlier in the case. At the time of the incident, Andrew Colbert reportedly worked hard to support Erika's timeline. He said that Erika had dinner with Charlie the night before everything happened. To reinforce that claim, he also shared a photo that Erika herself had taken. In the image, her hand is visible while she's holding a phone, and the picture was presented as proof that she had been spending time with her children. The photo reportedly showed that on September 9th at 8:33 a.m. Pacific time, Erika was outside walking with her kids before heading into work. For a while, that image was seen as part of the timeline that supported her account of events. However, newer discussions have introduced another possibility that has surprised many followers of the story. Some sources now claim that Erika may not have been home the night before Charlie's passing. Instead, it has been suggested that she might have been with Tracy Martin, someone who has reportedly been part of Erika's life for more than a decade.
Martin. Remember, Tracy Martin is Erika's best friend for over 15 years. How close are Erika and Tracy? They've done everything together. Tracy says from Romanian Angels. Erika modeled for her clothing brand. This is shocking that Tracy's daughter is actually Erika's assistant. I'll put in allegedly there because we've got to confirm that information. But the source knows.
If that claim were true, it could shift how people interpret the emotional context surrounding everything that happened. Because if Erika was not actually with her mother as originally stated, people naturally begin asking why that version of events was shared. Observers who have looked through older photos have also noticed that Tracy Martin appears frequently in Erika's life. Over the years, the two have reportedly shared vacations, holidays, and family gatherings together. In many images, Tracy seems to be present during major moments. There's also another connection that has caught attention. Tracy's daughter, McKenna, has reportedly been described as Erika's personal assistant at one point. To some people watching from the outside, these connections simply show a long-standing friendship and professional relationship. But others believe the bond might be deeper than that, which has only added more curiosity to the ongoing discussion. This is where the conversation online starts getting even more intense. Over time, different theories have been circulating about Erika and the story surrounding her children. One idea that has already spread widely in discussion circles is the possibility that Erika may have used a surrogate at some point. Surrogacy itself is not unusual, and many families choose that path for personal or medical reasons. However, in this case, the speculation goes further because people are trying to connect it with several details they feel don't fully line up. Observers often point to the lack of visible pregnancy photos, moments where Erika seemed unsure about certain dates involving her children, and other small inconsistencies people claim to have noticed. Because of that, some discussions online have moved beyond the simple idea of surrogacy and into much broader theories. Again, none of these claims have been confirmed, but they continue to circulate in online conversations. One of the more dramatic ideas being debated is the suggestion that the children might biologically belong to someone within Erika's close circle rather than Erika herself.
And Tyler was there.
Tyler Boyer.
Yes, he was there with his wife, his beautiful wife, and his kids. And he came up to me afterwards and he was like, hey, we have this organization and we're starting in Arizona. Would love for you to be a part of it. And it said, thank you for all the information, but I am moving to Manhattan. And I was like, stay in touch. And we didn't really stay in touch. I want to see what they did to my husband. And I want to give him a kiss because I didn't get to give him a kiss this morning.
If that were true, supporters of the theory say it could explain a few of the details people keep bringing up. For example, they argue it might explain why there are no pregnancy photos, why the ultrasound reportedly displayed a different last name, and why certain parts of the timeline appear tightly controlled in public. Of course, this kind of speculation also raises another major question that people have begun asking. If any of these theories held truth, would Charlie have known about it? Or was he presented with a different understanding of the situation entirely? At the moment, there is no verified evidence that answers those questions, but the discussions around them have continued to grow. For quite a while, most of these conversations stayed in the realm of general speculation. People talked about secrecy, privacy, and the possibility of surrogacy without pointing to any specific individuals. But recently, a new name started appearing in those discussions, and that's when the situation became even more specific. That name is Tyler Bauer. His name has been circulating in certain circles connected to the story, and according to some sources discussing the situation, the speculation is no longer just about whether Erika carried the children herself. Some people have gone further and suggested that Tyler Bauer could potentially be the biological father of Erika's children. That is a serious claim, and it remains completely unverified. Still, those discussing the theory believe the timeline may have contributed to why the rumor gained traction. According to several accounts being shared, the final period of Erika and Charlie's marriage may not have been as stable as people originally believed.
Nobody knew who Erika Kirk was before Charlie died. And I mean that literally. Outside of a pageant title she won 14 years ago and a brief presence on Charlie's arm at conservative events, there was no public record of who this woman actually was, where she came from, or what she had done with her life before becoming the widow of one of the most prominent figures in American right-wing politics. And for a while, nobody asked. But then she took over his company. And then she started positioning herself as a serious leader with serious credentials. And people started playing on threads. And what they found underneath was one of the strangest stories in politics right now. Candace Owens has released new episodes of her documentary series, The Bride of Charlie. This is about who Erika Kirk actually is at a foundational level. And the further Owens digs, the weirder it gets. So let's go through this in order because it builds. We'll start with what's messy before we get into what is unhinged. So Erika's own birth date is in dispute. Owens pulled actual divorce filings from Erika's parents, Kent and Lori, and those documents list her birthday as November 22nd, 1988, not November 20th, which is the date Erika uses publicly. Now, on its own,
some reports claim that the night before everything changed, the relationship between Erika and Charlie was already under heavy strain. According to these discussions, the possibility of divorce had moved beyond being a distant worry and had started to feel like a very real outcome. People examining the timeline also point to a few personal details that have been mentioned in conversations. It has been said that Charlie was not wearing his wedding ring around that time, and some claim he had even been sleeping on the couch instead of sharing the bedroom. Others say there was no goodbye kiss between them the day before everything happened. Another detail that keeps resurfacing is a note that Charlie reportedly left for Erika. The existence of that note has been mentioned in several discussions surrounding the situation, and many people believe it could hold clues about what was happening behind the scenes during those final days. As the story continues unfolding, some critics have started questioning another moment that quickly drew attention: the letter Erika shared publicly that was reportedly written by Charlie before he passed away. The note described Charlie expressing strong affection for Erika and speaking highly of their relationship. While some viewers saw it as a heartfelt message, others began examining it closely once it was shared online. That's where the debate began. Some observers wondered why such a personal letter was released to the public in the first place, especially knowing that every word would likely be analyzed by thousands of people. A few critics have even suggested the possibility that the note could have been altered or misunderstood, although there is no verified evidence supporting that claim. Still, once something like that enters the public space, scrutiny tends to follow quickly. Another detail that has kept resurfacing in discussions involves Erika's reported location at the time of the tragic incident involving Charlie.
You told your children that Charlie was going on a work trip with Jesus. Are they still asking, where's Daddy?
Yes, my daughter continues to ask. I told her the other day, because she said, I just miss Daddy, and where's Daddy? When is he coming home? And I said, baby, Daddy's still with Jesus. And I said, they are so busy. And I said, if ever you want to talk to Daddy, you just look up to the sky and start talking to him. He can hear you. So is he.
Y'all, am I the only one Am I the only one that is a little concerned about why Erika Kirk keeps lying to her children and telling them that her daddy is away at work? Like, does that not seem right? I get the child is young, but at the same time, you are lying to her. Why would Erika Kirk be lying to the child? Tell the child the truth. Daddy's not coming back. Daddy's not at work. Daddy is no longer with us.
Earlier statements suggested she was at the hospital with her mother. However, other conversations online have claimed she may have been staying at a resort during that same time frame. These conflicting accounts are part of what continues to fuel curiosity around the timeline. If the relationship between Erika and Charlie was already under pressure during those final days, as some sources have suggested, then people naturally begin asking additional questions. If tensions were building that night, what exactly was happening behind the scenes? Was there information Charlie may have recently discovered that added strain to the marriage? At this point, those questions remain unanswered. This is also where the name Tyler Bauer keeps appearing in discussions surrounding the situation. Some people claim Tyler had been part of Erika's life long before she met Charlie. Others have suggested that Tyler may have even played a role in introducing Erika and Charlie years ago. There have also been rumors that Erika and Tyler might have dated at one point in the past, though none of that has been confirmed publicly. Because of those overlapping connections, Tyler's name has started appearing more frequently in conversations about what may have been happening during the final stages of the marriage. When people combine that with the earlier speculation about surrogacy and questions surrounding paternity, the story becomes even more complicated. Some discussions have even suggested that private DNA conversations could have taken place behind closed doors. If questions about paternity were ever raised, that would dramatically change how some people interpret the timeline of events. However, it's important to emphasize that no DNA report has been publicly released, and there has been no official confirmation of those claims. Meanwhile, Candace Owens has continued discussing aspects of the story in her series Bride of Charlie. During recent commentary, she hinted that there may still be information that has not yet been revealed publicly. According to her, future details could significantly reshape how the public views Erika's role in the story. Throughout all of this, Tyler Bauer's name continues to surface at different moments connected to Erika and Charlie's relationship, from before they met, during their marriage, and now within discussions about how everything may have unraveled. Because of that repeated connection, some observers believe the pattern is worth paying attention to. Whether those patterns ultimately mean anything remains to be seen. But in a story filled with unanswered questions, even small details can quickly become the center of major speculation. And right now, fairly or not, Tyler Bauer's name remains one of the details that people continue to analyze closely. As this story keeps unfolding, a lot of people are still left with the same big questions. When timelines don't fully line up and new claims keep surfacing, it naturally pushes people to look closer at the details. That's where the debate online has really started heating up. One question that keeps coming up is about Erika's whereabouts the night before the tragic incident involving Charlie. Some discussions suggest she was with her mother, while other conversations claim she may have been somewhere else entirely. If those accounts truly conflict, people understandably want clarity. Was she really spending time with Tracy that night, as some sources suggest? Or is there another explanation that hasn't been fully understood yet? There are also ongoing rumors about the nature of Erika's relationship with Tracy. Some people believe their bond was simply a long-standing friendship, while others online have floated more dramatic theories. A few discussions have even speculated about the possibility of Tracy playing a larger role in Erika's personal life, whether as a surrogate or something more personal. At this stage, these ideas remain unconfirmed conversations circulating among observers, but they continue to spark debate. When so many unanswered questions remain, it's only natural for people to analyze the situation from every angle. Some viewers believe there may be missing pieces to the story, while others think the speculation has gone too far. Either way, the discussion clearly isn't slowing down anytime soon. Now we want to hear from you. What do you think about everything that has been discussed? Do you believe there are still important details the public hasn't heard yet? Or do you think the internet might be reading too deeply into the situation? Drop your thoughts down in the comments below and join the conversation. And before you go, make sure to like the video, share it with someone who follows celebrity drama, and subscribe for more stories like this. Also, check out the next video that's about to appear on your screen because the celebrity world never stays quiet for long, and the next story might be even more surprising. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.